My name is Sandra and this is the NomadStitches Podcast. I believe this is episode 5. The last time I had a podcast out, I think it was at the beginning of October. So it's been a while and there is quite a bit to catch up on. And there's also quite a few new subscribers to this podcast, to this channel. So I am so glad that you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, but you're watching this, please do subscribe because I do try to post podcast episodes as often as I can, maybe like once a month or something like that. And I do post a lot of tutorials on this channel, so do make sure you subscribe, and while you're here, like this video and comment away. But anyway, this is the NomadStitches Podcast. This is where I tell you guys about my current whips, my works in progress. I tell you about my finished objects, and I tell you about things that are going on in my life, either as a designer or in my personal life as well. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Sandra Gutierrez. I am originally from Mexico, but I am living in the UK at the moment. I have lived in many places around the world, and I came to the UK in August of this year. So it's been a few months since we've been here, and I really like it so far. I have a daughter who is a year and a half, and my husband is from England, so he feels at home here, and I am starting to feel at home as well. I really like living in the UK so far, mostly because I have access to a lot of really good yarn, and you know, shopping online is so much easier than when I used to live in Bulgaria or in China, for example. So yeah, that is basically me. What I do for a living is that I am a knitwear designer. So what I do is create patterns for you guys to make my designs, and I work really hard to make my patterns accessible for everyone. I try to be size inclusive. I try to have videos to help you guys out. So if you are a crochet beginner, I am so glad that you are here. You should definitely give my patterns a go, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I have a contact form on my website, NomadStitches.com. You can find me through my email, Instagram, YouTube comments, anywhere. I am so available to answer questions. So please give my patterns a go, and you can find my patterns on my website, NomadStitches.com, or I am also on Ravelry or Etsy as NomadStitches. Okay, so today's podcast, I have quite a bit to go through because I've been really busy, and I feel like over the last few months, so many projects that have been done in the background are now coming out, so I can finally talk about them and I can show them to you. So I am so excited about that. So what we're gonna do first is talk about finished objects and projects, and then we're gonna go to works in progress, and then we're going to talk about some news as well. Actually, no, let me do the news first because in case I forget. So basically, Christmas is just around the corner. Now, today is November 27th. And December is going to start on Tuesday, which is super exciting because I have an advent calendar that I have organized for this year. This is my first time doing it, and I am so excited because I have 15 other makers that have joined me. So every day, if you sign up, every day you are going to receive an email to your inbox, and I'm going to have massive discounts in my shop. Like, I've never done anything like this. It's going to be so many discounts, really good discounts in patterns, and well, that's all I sell, so in all my patterns, basically. But all my guests, I think there's like 7 of them are yarn dyers. I have a friend of mine who does ribbon dyeing with natural materials, and her ribbons are incredible. She also has thread, so if you like to crochet, you can use like her thin thread as well. But she only uses natural materials that she forages. Her name is Pomegranate Colors, in case you want to check her out. But anyway, she is participating in my advent calendar as well. I have the Farmer's Daughters fibers, 6 and 7 fibers, Expression Fiber Arts, Made by Haley Bailey is participating as well with her yarn. So there's going to be loads of great discounts. Eden Cottage yarns, and I think that's all the yarn. Oh, I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. And then I also have designers, so Made by Haley Bailey, by Stephanie Aaron, More Thunder, Mama DIY, well, all my patterns as well. Oh, Ravliki, I think that's her name on Instagram. Her name is Lena. She is from Ukraine and she makes the coolest stuff. She's actually putting a discount as well in that calendar. So if you're interested in saving loads in yarn and patterns, definitely sign up to my newsletter. I will put the link down there for the sign up, and that is a different newsletter than my regular newsletter because I didn't want to send emails every day to people that didn't want them. So I'm only sending it to the Advent calendar newsletter. So do make sure you sign up to the right newsletter, but sign up to both while you're there. And yeah, so that is going on December 1st is going to start. So if you're watching this and it's past December 1st, still go and sign up because it's going to go from December 1st to the 24th, and some discounts last more than 24 hours. So definitely check out what's going on and see if you are able to catch some things still, okay? But yeah, that's what's going on at the moment when it comes to news. I'm going to have some new pattern releases during December, so if you are interested in some of my newer patterns, definitely check that out as well. Okay, let's talk about Finnish projects, not objects, because I don't have the objects with me, not all of them, but I have to show you the highlight of my year. So participating in Pom Pom has been so incredibly rewarding. I think I admired this magazine for so long, and I just thought that it was this weird, silly dream of me to even think about being in it. And now that I've had 2 patterns published, it's just, I don't understand how that's possible. And for this one as well, I told you the story on the last email, on my last podcast. So definitely check out if you want to hear the story about how Stephen West emailed me. But yeah, it's such a cool thing. And to have it in my hands and just be able to see one of my designs in print. Let me show it to you. So just to be able to see one of my designs in print is just incredible. Like, that's my name, you know, like how cool is that? And like, I made this and I designed it and everything. So yeah, I am so proud of myself and just so honored to be included, especially because it's the only crochet pattern in the whole magazine and they chose mine. Like, I'm so excited. So yeah, if you are thinking about signing up, this is a great issue to sign up to Pom Pom because the patterns in here are insane. Like, some of the color work, like this one is amazing. So definitely check that out as well. Another thing that's exciting is my Inside Crochet magazine participation. I made it to the cover on this one. Whoopsie, it's a bit damaged. And you know what? It's so sad. I went to the supermarket today. I went to Sainsbury. Usually I go to Morrison's and I don't even look at the magazines. Like, it's just not something that I'm used to getting. So I don't pay attention to them very often. And the other day I thought about it and I was at the supermarket and I went and checked. And they didn't have Inside Crochet. They didn't have any of the ones that I've been in. So I was like, oh, they probably don't even sell them in regular places. Well, I went to Sainsbury today and they had Inside Crochet. They didn't have this issue. They had the new one where I do have a pattern in the new one, but it's not in the cover. But I missed seeing my design in the aisle, in the supermarket aisle, and I'm really sad that I missed that. But I took a picture of the new one anyway because I thought that was super cool. But yeah, I have another one that is in the latest Inside Crochet, and I'm not in the cover obviously because you can't be in the cover all the time, and it's not as good, I guess. But yeah, I missed seeing my pattern in the cover of a magazine at a supermarket, which is really depressing. But still, I am so proud of myself. This is such a fun design, and now I can show it to you guys with more calm because obviously the design is out there and I just love it so much. I'm gonna wear it all the time. It's a bit itchy because it has mohair, this one, and I think I'm a bit allergic to mohair. I just discovered, so I can't wear it all the time, but I think as it gets colder, my body's able to resist the heat a little bit more, so I'll be able to wear it a bit more often. But I really like it. This is the Mosaic jumper, and I will release it independently in January. So if you didn't get the magazine or you're not able to get it where you live, don't worry about it. You'll be able to get the pattern in January independently, okay? What else? Yeah, I think that's it when it comes to fun projects. Now let's talk about finished objects. That one behind me, that one is the folk jumper. I'll bring it over. So this one is the folk sweater, and this one is in the latest issue of Inside Crochet, and it's their inspiration was a Russian fairy tale. That's what it was, and I just thought the imagery was so cool with all these cool flowers, and it reminded me of like a Frida Kahlo, but like even more moody, you know. So I went for black, which I never do. I never crochet in black. It's so difficult to photograph. B, my dog hairs are everywhere. Like taking them off this has been so annoying just for like one picture. But I really like the way it turned out. There's quite a bit of texture in the body. I don't know if you can see the texture there. So I used, you know, a fun stitch. It's not just double crochet, and then it has little ruffles at the bottom and little ruffles on the sleeves, and then it has this little ruffle around the neck, and I really like it. So this one is in the latest issue of Inside Crochet. It's the Christmas one, and the patterns in it are actually amazing. Like there's this poncho thing that is incredible. Here, I'll show it to you. Yeah, so I'll just show you the cover because I'm sure you're bored of talking about magazines, but yeah, like this guy is just so pretty, and then there's these Christmas decorations, and there's a cool stocking and stuff. So yeah, that's my finished object number 1. Finished object number 2, I wanted to show you my stockings. Here. So these I've called them the candy cane stockings. I actually made a knitted one as well. And these ones use Mosaic crochet, and the knitted one is Mosaic knit. So this is the Mosaic knitting one. As you can see, the knitting and the crochet does look a bit different, but it does have a few similarities as well. I didn't write the knitting pattern because I just didn't feel inspired to write a knitting pattern. But the crochet pattern is free on my website. I've made 2 of them, and you can basically make them with any yarn that you have at home. They work up super quickly. I made them each in one night, just like watching a few episodes of something on Netflix. And yeah, they're super easy. Free blog and free pattern in my blog. There's a little video for how to turn the heel as well on it, because it's done with short rows, so it's a little bit more complicated than just going in the round and decreasing, but it's a good technique to learn as well because you use it a lot when making socks. And yeah, so this is finished object number 2. Now another finished object that I'm very proud of are my little mittens. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen these already. And these are called the Heartbeat Mittens, and they will be released at the beginning of December. I use just leftover yarn because they require so little. I think I figured out it's like 100 meters of the main color, this one. So that's like 1/4 of a fingering weight yarn skein. So that's really, you don't need that much yarn. So if you have any fingering weight leftovers, these are perfect for it. My favorite thing about them is that they're kind of elasticy, so it feels kind of cozy on your hands, like they kind of squeeze your hands in a very lovely way. And I just love that color, you know, changes. Like it's just quite fun. So depending on what color you go for, I think it's gonna look so cool. So yeah, these are my Heartbeat Mittens. Another finished object. I don't know where we are. Oh, it's this guy. I haven't shown it to you. This is the Juniper Sweater. And this sweater has a very similar construction to City Lights, which is in the Pom Pom magazine. So it has the same stitch, just City Lights doesn't have the ruffles at the bottom. It just has a ribbing at the bottom. And this one has the flowers on the sleeve. But most of it is quite similar. The way that the raglan is kind of like this compound raglan. The stitch that it uses and the formation, like this is like a vertical thing going on. So if you are making either City Lights or this one when it's released, this is going to be released in December, then definitely check out the video that I've made for this stitch. This is called a double slip stitch. So it's not a very common stitch. I never worked it before until a few months ago. And it's like a slip stitch, but you do a yarn over before you do a slip stitch. And it's all worked with increases at the end of the row and at the beginning of the row. So if you watch this video, like, it clears all your questions about how to make increases and decreases, and I think it's gonna make your life so much easier. So if you're planning on making this one or City Lights, or even my mittens, these mittens are worked with the same stitch as well, because I'm slightly obsessed with this stitch, to be honest. Definitely check out that video because it will tell you how to do everything basically. So I'm going to put the links in the description for the double slip stitch video and for the increases and decreases video as well. Now, another finished object. Oh yeah, Juniper Sweater. So this will be released mid-December. It is in testing now, so just wait a minute and then it will be released really soon. Sign up to my advent calendar and you will definitely get an email for when it's released, and there might be a cheeky little discount, so definitely sign up. Okay, another finished object, and I'm gonna show you this because I am really hoping that my friend that it's for will not watch this video. I hope so. So this is a water lilies bonnet, and this is for my friend who lives in the US, so I have to send it over. But I love these little flowers. I've never done embroidery on crochet, and I think it turned out pretty well, to be honest. So this is the water lilies bonnet, and I'm actually making another one in this yarn for another friend. This uses La Bien Mi Merino DK, and it's leftovers from my confetti DK pullover. So if you're familiar with my patterns, you'll recognize it. But I think the touch of the flowers looks super cute, and I kind of want to make one for my daughter now, but we'll see. So this is a water lilies bonnet, and I'm making another water lilies in this yarn, the same yarn that I had some leftover, and I'm making another one. So I'm almost done with this one. So this is whip number 1, I guess. But my latest FO is a knitting pattern. It's a knitting sweater, knitted sweater. So it's this guy, and I showed it to you last time, and it was only like halfway through. You can't see the colors well again. I don't know why. Let me see if I get it closer. No, I don't know why. The lighting is just off, I think, in here. But it is like a greeny blue color, and this pink is like dusty pink. It's really pretty. So yeah, this is finished, but I don't think I will write a pattern. I don't know. What do you think? Should I write it or should I not? The thing is, it's done in Intarsia knitting, and if any of you have ever tried Intarsia in the round, it is a bit complicated. And I do short rows at the back plus the Intarsia. Like, it's just one of those patterns that I know is going to take a long time to write, and I know it's going to need at least 1 video, probably 2, which means that I probably will have to rework at least half of it to show you in the video, and it's just so much work that I don't know if it's worth it, because I really like it, but I don't know if you guys like it enough to make it, because if I'm going to put all that work, I hope that it's worth it, you know what I mean? And I'm not like 100% convinced that this pattern is something that people are looking for, so I might not publish it, but it's finished and I really like it, and my daughter really likes it. It fits her perfectly because it's a bit big, but she's so much bigger now that it will fit her for the next few months. The back is quite cool because the back is just split. So yeah, if you notice that the stitches are not even, like in the middle, they kind of look differently. That's because when you do Intarsia in the round, you have to turn at the end of every round. So you're always working on the right side and then on the wrong side. And you have to kind of like trick the yarn into position so that there's no holes at the back. Otherwise you would get a big hole in the back. And it is a bit complicated, to be honest. to explain and to make. So I don't know, I'll think about it, but you guys tell me in the comments, do you want this pattern? Should I not bother? Let me know what you think. Alright, I think that's it when it comes to finished objects. Yes, I think so. Now, whips. I have quite a few whips. So you know how I told you that I am a little bit obsessed with that double slip stitch stitch? Well, I am making a hat using that stitch. So this is the hat so far. And this is actually a rework that I've done today because this is my previous attempt. And I made this one with a 5mm hook. And I liked it, but I felt like it was too tight. And this one I've worked with a 6mm hook. So this yarn is Country Classic by Sirdar. They contacted me not long ago and they asked me if I wanted to try some of their new yarns. And I never worked with Sirdar. So Sirdar, if you're not from the UK, it's basically like a Lion brand, but in the UK. So they're quite affordable, you know, easy to work materials, easy to work yarn. And this one, their Country Classic, is, I think, is one of their staples or something. So they have it in DK and they have it in worsted. So this is the worsted yarn. And I don't usually work with thicker yarn. I usually do like more like fingering weight yarn, sport yarn. So this has been a new experience for me, really, but I really like it. And so yeah, so this is gonna be the hat. The problem is that I don't think I have enough because I used this one for my stocking, so I don't have a whole ball, and this is all I have. And actually I undid it because I was able to finish it before, but I used this stuff for like to do this kind of pattern on it, like a triangle kind of thing, and I didn't really like it. It just didn't feel right, so I've undone it, and I'm really hoping I'll have enough to finish it. But I mean, like, I still need, what's that, like 3 inches maybe, and I could have enough. I could potentially have enough yarn to finish it. But that is definitely going to be a pattern when I figure out the measurements, because they're sending me another couple of skeins of balls of this one. So I will get that to you, and I'm really excited because I think it's going to be really cool. It's so thick as well, because this stitch makes it quite squishy and almost like double fabric, but not too heavy. So I really like it. But yeah, I'll let you guys know if it happens or if it doesn't happen. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll just do a stripe and look stupid with this one. But yeah, that is my current FO. I have, whip. I have 2 more whips. This one I showed it to you last time, and I haven't worked much on it. I undid the body and I reworked it. So this is the knitted one, but this is a crochet version. And I started making these because I did want to make a pattern out of them, and they're graded and everything, but I just, you know, sometimes you have designs that just don't inspire you very much. Like, that's how I felt about these. Like, even though I really like them, like, I'm not eager to finish them. It could be that it's not for me. Isn't that very selfish? I think when I'm working on something that is for me, that I really want to wear, like, maybe I put much more effort into it. So that could be the problem. Maybe I'm just like, I'm using you guys as my therapist at the moment. So it could be that this is for my daughter and I'm just not that excited to finish it because it's not for me, but I will finish it. So this one needs still some more sleeves and the ribbing at the bottom, and then it needs these like little buttons that I'm gonna put here. So this is actually really cute. I think I like the crochet better than the knitted one. I don't know, I think the texture is really nice. So I will finish this one soon, but I don't know exactly when. And my other FO is a very depressing story. So you know how I told you that I am obsessed with this stitch, right? With the one I use in this jumper, double slip stitch. Well, days before I even finished this one, I just already knew that I wanted to make something similar, but a cardigan version. And I wanted it to have a big neck, kind of like a scarf that you hang on, but part of a jumper. And I was so excited. So I emailed the people at Love Crafts and I was like, Ella, I want to work this pattern. Would you get me yarn? And she's like, yeah. And you guys, I have other commitments, okay? I have other commitments, so I should not be asking for more yarn. But I was like, I really want to make this. And she sent it to me. She sent me these beautiful, it's called Peep Pure. So this is Merino DK. I think it is Merino. No, it's Falkland Islands wool. So it's pure wool, but it's not itchy at all. It's super, super soft. And it's just such a nice yarn. I never worked with it before, but I asked for it and she sent it to me and I was really happy. And so as soon as I finished this one, literally, like I hadn't even done the ends, I think. I started on the other one. And I just joined, because it's a very similar construction, but slightly different because it's a cardigan, right? So you need to do it in 4 separate pieces, or body and sleeves, and then they are attached together. So I just attached it the other night and I tried it on and it's terrible. I am so sad. It is so bad. And I think what happened is that, you know, when you do something many times, you feel like you know exactly how it's done and you don't even think about it and you just like boom, 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 done, let's move on, let's continue with the next thing. Well, I think that's what happened when I was creating the pattern, because in my design process, I usually have an idea, right? And I'll sketch something, or I'll just think about something, and then I'll make a swatch, and then I'll get my gauge, and then I will go to the computer, and I will work all the maths. Because I don't want to start something without knowing, you know, all the numbers. And especially for something like this, where you need the numbers, like how many rows am I going to work the raglan, how many rows am I going to work on the shoulder. Like, you need to know all that before you start. You can't just like wing it. Like with this hat, I am totally winging it. But when it comes to a proper garment, like, you have to know all these things. So I spent, you know, 2-3 hours at the computer finding out all the maths, making sure that it works at least for my size. But usually I work all the sizes in one. And then when I work the pattern, I might tweak a little bit here and there, depending on how it comes out, right? So I spent all that time doing the maths. But because I had already done this jumper and the city lights, and it is a similar-ish construction, I didn't really pay that much attention to it. I just kind of did it on automatic. And I hadn't considered all these things that are important to consider with this kind of construction. So it turned out bad. So I'm going to put it on just so you can see how bad it is. All right, just a minute. All right, so here it is. Now, first problem, what's with the sleeves? First of all, they're tiny. Look at that. They're so short because this just keeps falling off. So I keep pulling it up and the sleeves are too short. Now, they fit fine around my arm, but they're just so short. And then the sleeves, as you can see, are so wide at the top that the back starts like halfway through my back. Like, it's just, I don't know what I was thinking. So I've reworked the maths to do this one again, and I will work it again because I am so excited. Let me show you my favorite part of this one on this side. So it's got short rows at the back, like on the side. Here, I haven't done the armpit yet. And so it does something like this, where it goes in at the waist and then it will come out at the hips. And I don't usually do waist shaping, but I think it's worth it on this one. So see, it kind of does this almost like a peplum thingy. And it's going to be so cozy because it's going to have this big neckline going around it. But I have to fix it, which means that I have to remake the whole thing. I mean, look at this. It's so annoying. Oh, this is driving me insane. So yeah, let me just put my other jumper back on. So yeah, that's the story with that jumper. Like, now I have to remake it again, and now I've worked out the maths and I'm pretty sure I know how to fix the issue and it's going to be okay. But that's like 2 weeks of work of me crocheting, and it's useless, right? I have to like frog all of that work, and it's just so frustrating, and it's part of learning, it's part of being a designer, it's part of my job. But now I have other commitments with other yarn dyers and other projects that are coming up soon, and it's like, just because I was reckless, like I didn't pay enough attention, I didn't think about it properly because I was itching to start. And that happens to me all the time, where I'm so itching to start something that I didn't pay attention, and then it turned out bad. So yeah, hopefully I will be able to rework it, because it's not even my yarn. Someone gave it to me, like I have to use it. Like I can't just be like, oh well, I'll just put it away and not use it. Like someone's expecting me to make a pattern out of it and put their name on it so that they know. It's a back and forth kind of relationship, and yeah. So we'll see. I will get to it, but it's gonna be a little while. But yeah, those are all of my current works in progress and finished objects. I do have a couple of little things that I want to show you. These little thingies, look at these. This is a tiny little hat, and this is another tiny little hat that also looks a little bit like a bell. So I might call it a bell just because it looks like a bell. But it's supposed to be a hat. And it's a tiny little jumper. So these I made for a class that I will be teaching in Vogue Knit Live in December. I teach on December 11th and the 10th and the 11th, and I will be teaching 2 classes. I will be teaching a round yoke sweater construction for crochet, and I'll also be teaching crochet stitches that look like knitting. So these are basically the 3 stitches. This one looks like garter stitch in knitting. Oopsie. And this one looks like, regular stockinette, and it's used for Fair Isle. And this is the ribbing that I am obsessed with, which is work with double slip stitch. So I will be teaching these 3 stitches, and I will be giving out these 3 patterns for people to work, and we will work them in the class. So you will leave knowing how to make increases and decreases in each one, and you'll be able to use them in the future if you want to. And I'll also be teaching about maths when it comes to making a round yoke sweater with crochet. So if you're interested, check out the Vogue Knit Live. I'm gonna put the link underneath. Definitely join us in the class, and then you learn, and you'll get the pattern for these little babies. They're so cute, aren't they? So yeah, I think that is all I have for today. I did want to talk about something that you might have noticed today, that my skin is just a bit grossy, and I have some going on in my eyes and on my lips, and I talk about it on my Instagram for a second, and it's my eczema. I have issues with eczema and my skin, and I think if anyone out there is, knows what it's like I think you understand me, but I think a lot of people might not know what it's like to have a skin condition, and it can be really, really annoying. So at the moment I've been trying so hard not to be pictured and not to do videos like this. That's why it took me so long really to do another podcast episode, because it's been a bit stressful for me, to be honest. But yeah, so that's what's going on in my life. I have this thing that kind of has taken over my life. My eyes hurt all the time because it hurts my skin around them. They're rough. This, you can only see my neck, but this thing is going on all through my shoulders and my arms, and it's just no fun. So, if you want to give me some advice in the comments, please go ahead. If you want to tell me that you're going through the same thing, please go ahead to make me feel better. But if you have someone in your family that might be going through the same thing, just be nice to them, But yeah, I thought I would share because it's just what's going on through my life, and sometimes it's difficult because my job is such a presential thing. I have to be present, I have to my face is on Instagram all the time. I have to do videos, I have to talk to you guys, and And it can be a little bit stressful to do it when you know you don't look good, and it's something that people might talk about. So, in case you're wondering what this thing is, like, it's eczema. All right? And it happens, and I hope this flare-up just kind of clears up soon. I don't know what's going on that's making it happen, but yeah, if you think of me, just, send me good vibes so that I can deal with this stuff. But in a great scheme of things of what's going on in the world, I'm okay. There's no big deal. All right, what else? I've also been reading a book, and by reading I mean listening to, that I really enjoyed, that I wanted to tell you guys about. And it's called The Island by Victoria Islope. I'm going to put the name and in the description as well. If you're interested in a nice audible read, definitely check her out. Her book is really fun. It's all about life in Crete, around this island called Spinalonga, where lepers used to go live, and kind of like the life in the leper colony and in the town that it was attached to the leper colony, and what it was like to be a leper back then. And I kind of identify with my skin. I know I'm not a leper, but like I can imagine what it was like to have like an issue that people would see and they would think like, oh, you're diseased, So yeah, it's a good read. It's an interesting little, like, not really a love story, but just kind of like a life story. And I've also been reading, really into Janet Lansbury, which is, I believe she's a psychologist, but she works with children and like parenting classes and education and stuff like that. And she believes in respectful parenting. And it's completely changed the way I want to parent. Like, I read her book, well, listen, on Audible, No Bad Kids, and it's just so full of insight. So if you're a parent and you're struggling with, like, tantrums, or like, my daughter's not even 2 yet, and she's already like showing attitudes, and like these techniques that she gives you, like, really helps you, like, first of all, deal with your own stuff that makes you really upset about why this kid is crying. But also helps you, like, help the kid feel better and, deal with their emotions. So definitely check out if you're a parent, No Bad Kids by Janet Lansbury. She also has a podcast that is very helpful. And if you're not into like reading a whole book or listening to a whole book, a podcast episode is like 30 minutes or something like that. But yeah, that's what's been going on in my life. Please tell me what's going on in your life. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast episode. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and like, and to help me out, and come back next time. And don't forget also to sign up to my Advent newsletter so that you receive all the discounts that are coming up and all the news on new releases and things like that. All right. That was a lot of talking. I hope you're not bored. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Now, this is Sandra of NomadStitches. See you next time. Bye-bye.